start with, as I was saying, this is we started with research, and this is a summary of the research from the AI Genius Club, based on again the input of the of Dion's EB5 summary, as well as in a little bit you'll see we also inputted the E2 summary that he had, or the PowerPoint presentation he had. In any event, this is mostly about EB5 at the moment, from that, again, from Dion's material. Uh, they came up first with some ideas for courses, specifically addressing the movement toward franchise-based investments, uh, offering better transparency and operational contact. Now, those are two of the factors that Dion stressed in his document, that the uh, the feds, the people reviewing these programs, want to see transparency and operational control. What specific things you've done to really address those two concerns that they're going to be looking at very carefully before they approve a program or a particular visa application. Uh, Franchise-based investments first in the case study. The second case study, real estate investment. A lot of foreign nationals coming to the United States would certainly, the more wealthy ones are going to certainly be into real estate. And essentially, the conclusions are that the real estate path is not very helpful, because it does miss out. Real estate development just doesn't have the clarity and the transparency that a traditional business might have. And it talks about those kind of issues that might be there. Again, in this case, they're talking about, okay, responding to those two specific areas. What do we need to communicate? Uh, and they're basically coming to the conclusion that franchise investments are probably one of the cleanest and easiest to get approved, because there's transparency. There's lots of history about the process of franchising, what's done, what the benefits are, the increased rate of survival of franchise opportunities over just traditional small business startups, and that it's all transparent. It's heavily regulated through the SEC and the Federal Trade Commission, so there are safeguards there. And frankly, it's a pretty simple business model to buy a franchise, open a business, and hire employees. There's no controversy about the employees or how many you're going to need. There's also a fairly short development cycle, whereas with real estate, it may take a year or two before you actually get to a payday, or at least have the real estate project completed. With franchising, you can be up and running in a matter of months, and those employees are already on the payroll at that time, and you can move forward with in a very consistent manner that the regulators are very eager to follow, because they don't have to work very hard with that. As with real estate, it's a much more complicated thing, stretches out, and has all kinds of uncontrollables, and no real hiring of individuals for the ultimate company until well down the pike. So in any event, they talk about all those kind of things. Here we're talking about navigating the process, and the fact is that you've got to kind of lay it out and follow the advice and the topics presented, so that the process itself of getting approval is expedited, so that the government agents who are reviewing this can work through it and know that everything is there. Just like we put a very thorough lender package together before we send it to underwriting with a lender. In this case, you got to put a package together that can go to the immigration agents, that they expect to see. The various issues that they want to see addressed are all laid out. So it's a kind of I won't say slam dunk, but it's very, very close to that. They have the opportunity to go through it, see what they expected to see. No red flags came up, and they can make a decision pretty quickly, as opposed to a real estate deal that has all sorts of issues that might come up, or other types of investment opportunities. All sorts of issues come up that maybe they're not the agents aren't that familiar with, but they need to know more just to make a decision. In this case, they can educate themselves and come to a comfortable decision for them very early on. Here you see franchise versus real estate, choosing the right EB5 investment. And there's a lot of detail here about how to get deep into those into that analysis, uh, and following the expected path that the immigration agents want to see. Let's see. Let me scroll down here to this would be a script, in effect, a course for a franchise investment course. An opening paragraph, a course objective and key learning outcomes, the importance of this course, course structure, introduction, understanding the EB5 program, franchise investment versus real estate, ensuring investment transparency, operational control of franchise investments, job creation versus franchises via franchising, and conclusion. So there's the course outline for how you could present the whole subject matter to a prospective client trying to get the idea of exactly what to do. Real world applications and case studies, final thoughts, and so forth. Welcome to the EB5 franchise investment courses. Would be a second course to have that specifically gets into the EB5 program itself. So they're going broader than just a targeted industry like franchising, but talking about the EB5 program universally, and how it works and what the intentions are, the state of the legislation, and so forth. And as they talk about the basics, and all the rest, there's a lot of detail there about how to pursue that subject and have a good course. So there's the overview and so forth. Now, if we go down here, let me kind of scroll through this stuff. Some of it's a little repetitive, but some of it's a little more detailed than you find in other places.
So while he's taking a breath, the whole point that he's doing here is we're going to give this in small pieces, and we're going to give it all around the world using the great discovery. We have the ability to print this in every language, and we have the ability to distribute it all over the world, all over the globe. And so anyone who's dreaming about coming to America, but doesn't want to storm the border and doesn't want to wait 4 or 5 years to become a citizen, this is a pathway to quick citizenship. And the program that we're following is make a small pamphlet first to spark their interest, give a little bit of a course later that gives them more detail that they can really sink their teeth into and understand. And then the final aspect is give them like a college course of how actually to do it, with applications, with packages to be filled out, and everything to get started. Allow them to buy the franchise, get the funding, and all of that before they ever came to the United States. That's what the three phases. And uh, the Great Discovery has a phase: give something away free, like a pamphlet, have a small fee, like maybe 25, 50, $75 for the basic package of how do you do such and such, whatever it is, and then a larger price tag on the college course, or the college course, on how to actually implement it. And one step can be even higher than that, a mentoring course. Because of the ability of AI, we can speak in any language. They can speak in whatever their home language is, and we hear it in English. We speak in English, and they hear it in whatever their home language is. And so we can communicate with people all around the world and bring them into uh, the first thing, of course, buying the franchise. Second thing, of course, um, filling out the appropriate paperwork to get into to get into this program, whether it's the EB-5 or the E2, or Trump has announced a golden visa, but he wants them to spend a whole lot of money to get that golden visa. And we can't fund those gigantic deals, but we can certainly fund the smaller franchises. And then last but by no means least, because we have 1,500 franchises, I know you know that because you watched the video that Richard has created, and it talks about the 1,500 franchises we have available. Because those we can fund, we get to sell the franchise and get paid. We get to sell the money to buy the franchise and get paid, and we get to sell this program and get paid. So we get paid no matter what. I think it's a fantastic idea, and I think you've done a great job. And I'm going to shut up now.
I just mentioned that at this stage they're talking about ensuring transparency and compliance, and that plays a major role in the process of educating someone as to how to go about this. And transparency and compliance is precisely what the immigration agents are looking for. They're going to want to make sure that you've done your due diligence, that you understand it, that they understand it. Uh, it's pretty easy for them to get to a comfort level very rapidly with an established franchise chain already up and running and successful here in the United States. So that's not much of a stretch for them, but they want to make sure that the client has also uh, thoroughly vetted it and understand it. The next is regulatory compliance, and this is real important. It's a major responsibility for anyone in government who is reviewing programs like this or just about anything else, that they ensure that bad actors are not taking advantage of this program, whether the bad actors are from abroad or whether it's people here in the United States who are doing illegal or involved in shady business practices. So that's very important that you address this, and the investigators are looking at it very carefully. I opened a bunch of restaurants at one time in the state of Nevada, and we went to get our standard beer and wine permit to operate in the state of Nevada and be able to offer it to our customers. And I was told that the president and 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 chief financial officer of our corporate headquarters from our corporate officers needed to fly to Nevada to go undergo a criminal check and background check, have their fingerprints taken and the pictures taken for the file. And it was essentially because Nevada was trying very desperately to try to keep the mob out of Nevada and out of the food and beverage business in Nevada. And the result was that, of course, the mob had the lawyers who could afford to skirt all those issues anyway. And it was the rest of us, the little franchisees of restaurants, opening restaurants, that had to actually comply with all of their owners' requirements. But here you see regulators in that case were very cautious and very concerned about making sure that bad actors were not part of the process and not involved in it. And that's a very key point in this case, that they're going to go ahead and have the scrutiny and so forth. But having or doing business with an established restaurant chain that already has history, already has compliance, has all those things, is a big jump forward, which is why franchising business has a much bigger edge over the other industries in this process. Talking about here, for example, give them an engaging story about someone else who's gone through the process and who has become successful and is happy. All sorts of selling points, as well as information about how to catch it, how to present it, and how to end up with a good outcome. They have Facebook strategies for how to pursue Facebook, how to pursue LinkedIn, and how to go after Instagram, YouTube, a script for a promotional video. What would you put into a promotional video if you wanted to show them a video? Have you ever dreamed of securing your future with U.S. citizenship? And that's really the first question, isn't it? I mean, that's their goal. That's what they want. And they talk about the goal, about the course and what it would do, and a call to action: or enroll today and take the first step towards your dream. Frank talks about delivering dreams or making dreams a reality for 40 years. Well, here's another opportunity. He can do this for another 40 years. Script for a historical context. If you want to talk about the history of the EB-5 program, YouTube tags. These are the tags, the keyword tags that we would put in YouTube in the YouTube presentation to make sure that that it ranks highly and that it delivers on its intended project of actually getting people involved and motivated. Uh, Here's a post campaign. These are, I think it's 30 posts, daily posts that you should use with your automated program, automated drip program to get the word out and to have a consistent message that's effective for the people looking at it. Video content, ideas, and scripts, typical topics, introduction, understanding, success stories, navigating key steps, future trends, and so forth. They already give that to you. See, in a short promotional titles, a potential script, detailed course promo video, what you might do just to promote the video, uh, all sorts of ideas about how you can actually promote and again, you see these story tags, these tags that you might use, EB-5 history, visa timeline, investment journey, immigration stories, program evolution, historical context, legacy, and so forth. These would be embedded as well, just like these as well. Requirement for EB and EB-5 visas for immigrants in the United States. Comparative analysis between the two. This is where we actually this goes beyond just EB-5, but the EB-2 program as well. The introduction, the discussion of treaty investors for EB-2, introduction, and thorough discussion about EB-2s and pros and cons and so forth, and the EB-5. So just about any way you want to see it, look at these tags. I mean, just a lot of detail here, a lot of ideas that you can use to embed in the documents for readability. Conclusion: both are effective, provide compelling routes for immigrant investors, each with distinct advantages and so forth. EB-2 is best suited for investors from treaty countries who can demonstrate a substantial and working capital commitment to an operational U.S. enterprise. In contrast, the EB-5 program, open to investors worldwide, necessitates a larger investment along with a specific job creation mandate, but offers the benefit of transitioning to a green card. Things that we know already, having done the reference ourselves, but these are important. References. These are specific references that relate to specific documents that they can go to get the first person version of what the law actually says. And the research assistant provides detailed comparative analysis, eligibility. Here's just the key points, conclusions. And again, the definition of employee. I mean, they've got specific references in the law so that should the applicant, for example, have an interest, he can read it. But if he wants to hand it over to his attorney back in Pakistan or whatever and say, hey, look at this, his expert can go through here and quickly get the information he needs so he can advise his client is exactly what the situation is. But look at that list of references, very detailed. All of the research is there and the references are there so they can go right to the documents that they need to verify that what we're telling them is absolutely the truth. And that's about it for now. Anyway, quite a bit of information. Not all of it's necessary, and some of it's a little repetitive, but we can pull out what we need, and what we need is buried in that document.
Wow, what a fantastic job you did. And I can see easily where we can break it into a free pamphlet that we can give away free, maybe 5, 10 pages of just highlights, and then an inexpensive course, 50, maybe $100 course that they can buy, and then make it into a college course, and then make it into a mentorship where we can have certain people in the United States trained to actually mentor. The first person that comes to my mind is Rhonda, that knows all about the VA. Boy, this would be something that she's a detail oriented person, and wow, what a mentorship program that we could have for foreign countries. And using the Great Discovery Program, it wouldn't matter the language barrier. There is no language barrier. With the language barrier, it we speak English, but they hear in with their own home language, and not only their home language, but their local dialect. So, like in the United States, you got Yankees up north that speak one way, people in New York that speak another way, and people down south that speak yet a third way. Those are local dialects. A lot of countries have that, especially in China, they have numerous dialects, but you get to be able to speak in that dialect. Wow. Wow. So that they really understand what you're saying. I did
Well,
one.
this process that AI Genius offers, a lot of initially a lot of what you saw there was a recap of what Dion had provided us, which is in itself very well researched in both the EB5 summary as well as the E2 PowerPoint. But then it goes into the research, the various segments there where we got into deeper research. That went to the web, that went to the internet and searched throughout the entire internet for information about those programs. So what we have here is completely vetted in the sense that whatever representation that we draw from this and actually present to prospective clients is going to be the absolute God's honest truth. We don't have to be concerned that we're saying something that won't bear up to the truth, that this is the truth, and it's so well researched and referenced to authoritative sources that we know what we're talking about by using this information.
Oh, well, to finish the thought that I had, I did one for a Korean person that doesn't understand English very well, and I did something for them explaining a detailed situation using the Great Discovery, and I did a local translation to South Korean language, and that person was able to completely comprehend every word I said. And they said, want to know how I learned to speak Korean? I have no clue how to speak Korean, but I did it in such a way that they understood every single word. So that capability is there now. Dion made a comment yesterday. It was like a challenge, like he threw down the gauntlet. And of course, when somebody challenges Frank, Frank is going to take up the challenge. That's why they call him Fearless Frank. He said, correct me if I'm wrong, Frank, if you could find a way that they can do this from home, home being wherever they came from, while they're still living here on an expired visa because they didn't go home or they don't want to go home. And he gave an example of they don't want to go back to Israel, that's war torn Israel, and get shot at. They don't want to do that. They want to stay here, even though their visa is expired. If you can do that, Frank, I forget the last thing he said. You can write your own ticket. You can have all the money that you could possibly handle, whatever. He said something along those lines. Can anyone refresh my memory what he said that last? You can have
Yeah,
what you
he was referring to the fact that there are probably tens of millions of people living in the United States who have visa issues. Either they've the visas never existed, or they have expired, or finally that they simply want to get moved past just a residency and move towards citizenship. But there are tens of millions of people in that category. And the worst case are those people who are here undocumented completely, but have established a life here. They have family relations. They have a business. They're paying taxes. They don't want to leave what they have built here just so they can leave the country and then come back in later under some other circumstance. Uh,
There'll be a pamphlet that'll be directed to them.
yeah, yeah.
so
Yeah.
he said our reward would be what, a little bit, a couple of dollars, lot of dollars. Oh, what terminology did he use? Like
Unlimited,
unlimited dollars.
unlimited.
Unlimited dollars. Okay. Well, while you were reading this, I noticed that whatever whatever applies to the person who gets that visa, it applies to their family.
Yeah.
So when their family gets the visa under the EB2 or the EB5, it applies to the whole family: father, mother, brother, sister, cousin, children. It applies to the family. And in many of the foreigners, that's how they work. Everyone in their family works in their business. So don't you know that Frank come up with a solution? Um, at any weekend, every weekend, the um, the money, the people that send money, something Weston. Can anyone tell me how you send money back home?
Used to be all Western Union, but now it's all
Western
sorts of
Union. That's
internet-based apps.
all right. Western Union. Every weekend, Western Union office is full of people sending half of their paycheck back home to wherever back home is. So, what if, I'm just saying, what if the person he's sending the money to, mama, dad, cousin, brother, sister, whoever, what if we schedule for the mother, father, brother, sister, uncle, cousin, whoever that is that he's sending the money to? What if we schedule that person to get the EB5 or the E2 and then do the program? And then that's going to cover the person who's here right now on an expired visa. I
That
just
might
solved the problem.
that might actually work.
I know. I just solved the problem.
Jim, I
So
don't think we're ever going to hear
that
the end
means
of this one.
If Dion is accurate in what he's saying, that means we have unlimited money. You'll never have to worry about money again for the rest of your life.
Well, I'm sure Dion is very accurate about what he's saying. We just we just need to vet this guy, Fearless Frank. All
He knows Fearless Frank. He knows if he threw the gauntlet down, Frank would pick it up. He
right.
knows.
All right. Good.
Anyway, I think that's a so simple solution that it's just, it's like salvation. It's so simple, it's overlooked by everybody.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
believe that's the solution. The Western Union office, just hang out at the Western Union office. There you go. Just that's what you want to do every Friday and Saturday. Hang out at the Western Union office and just hand them the free the free the free book that we made, the 5-page pamphlet. Just hand them out to everybody.
Direct deposit.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
Yeah, figure out
You
a
know,
direct deposit that you can do for them.
uh, yeah, I know. I know all of those things. I'm just
Yeah.
saying. I'm just saying. But that my God, if we want to do this and we want to have all the money that we'd ever want for the rest of our lives, there's a way to do it right there. And I can't wait to share this with Dion. Anyhow, anything else about that? Let's see, it's 10:48. We got uh 13 minutes, 15 minutes, no, 13 minutes um to go before um our next meeting. Any finishing statements? Any ideas?
No, I think Richard done it.
I think Richard hit a bullseye. I mean, he smack in the middle of the bullseye. He did a great job.
Absolutely.
And so
You got a thumbs up here.
with 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 the Genius Club, all of those points, you can expound upon all of those points,
Yeah.
and you can also put them into paragraphs, and you can say, I want paragraphs on each one of them and how many paragraphs you want, and it will write them for you. We just need to proofread them. Like I noticed there was, in my opinion, there were a bunch of little typos where two words would run together. All you needed is a space between the two words.
Yeah.
Um, and if there's any spelling errors, you do need to read it. However, it was profound. It was so profound that I was bursting with pride over you, and I was wanting to have you go through the same presentation for um, for Ed Gaza and James, because I think it's like if you show them that, it just blow their socks off. That you really picked up going to Nashville, Tennessee, paid off. That's what I think.
Well, I appreciate that. I don't think Ed or Jim would actually be able to sit through anything longer than about 5 minutes, but whatever.
Maybe when you get the pamphlets done like that, you can get them to go through one of those.
Well, when those courses are done and in the system, uh, that's the that's going to be it for them. I mean, they can see it for themselves. There are a number of other there are a lot of marketing materials that we can easily generate. We've got the initial script for some videos. We've got the initial script for drip campaigns and other things. We could use some of what we've got there for like a dedicated YouTube channel for the subject. Uh, I mean, there's a lot there. All we got to do, like Frank says, take it in there, expand it a little, but it can go directly into video for the first draft.
And it also can be attached to the website where we get
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Anywho, all right. What else?
Okay.
Wake up, Gail.
Well, it's 10:51. I am going to go ahead and stop the recording.